Hello and welcome to All About Danville. I'm Chuck Vipperman. All About Danville, of course, the brainchild of Hampton Wilkins. It's brought to you by Wilkins and Company, Realtors in Danville. And we are excited today. You've probably heard something about a casino coming to Danville. I don't know. People living underground know about the casino. And with us, we have the general manager of Caesars Virginia Casino and Resort, Chris Albrecht. Chris, you guys are creating a lot of excitement around town. There's people talking, and it almost seems surreal to those of us who were involved in the referendum effort to get people to vote and approve the casino back in 2020. We still kept going to see in Schoolfield for so long, but now we're starting to see it's becoming tangible now. And first off, welcome to Danville. I cannot tell you the amount of excitement that this has brought, even from people who voted against the casino. Now that it's coming, they look at the numbers and they go, wow, that's like bringing another Goodyear in here or two. I mean, it's spectacular. So first off, welcome. Tell us why Danville. I mean, Caesars is a big company, could go anywhere. You had your choice in Virginia. Why Danville?
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for the welcome. It's been fantastic. I've been here now 5 months, 6 months, and just everyone has just been so warm and welcoming, and definitely excited to bring a Caesars project here to this community, and we're moving along very well over there, and we'll get into some of that today. But
sure.
When you say why Danville, when Virginia did pass the referendum, there's always interest when a new state passes, and casino companies look at that as an opportunity to expand and look for growth in their companies. And as you got the lay of the land in the cities that these casinos are going to go into, Danville very quickly, I think, was identified amongst the options as one of the most attractive. I think you have a city that a lot of great things are already occurring, and expansion and economic development already on the rise here. Right. And then when you look at the surrounding communities that are not too far from Danville, especially when you look at a Roanoke or a Raleigh-Durham area, Charlotte, Greensboro, those are very attractive markets. And so Danville ended up having the most competitive bid process for a new license because of that attraction, those locations that people will drive into to have a casino experience. And
this is, I don't want to say it's a new thing for casinos to expand, but for the longest time, it was either Vegas or Atlantic City or maybe a couple of other little nooks and crannies here. That's it. But now with more and more states approving casino gaming, it's made Caesars, and probably among the casino giants, Caesars has been very aggressive about getting into communities. You guys have been moving a lot.
Yeah,
y'all are getting everywhere.
Yeah, we have the largest domestic footprint here in the United States. We have over 50 casinos, and all of them except for one are within the United States. And so when a new market does come open, we want to make sure we take a look at it. And that's because our companies are built on the foundation of our loyalty program, Caesars Rewards. And the value proposition is when a customer plays at any of our properties, they earn credits, right, for their play and their activity, and then they can take those credits and use them anywhere they want. So when a customer starts playing with us here in Danville at Caesars Virginia, when they earn credits, they can use those for free stay, free meals out in Las Vegas, Atlantic City, Lake Tahoe, New Orleans. So we have very attractive markets that people like to go visit.
Built-in customers coming no matter where you build, too.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting, yes. And we also know those guests that already exist within this community. So when we looked at the options, we knew where some of our existing customers already were because they are loyal guests through Caesars Rewards.
In addition to building a casino and resort center, you're also building a casino culture in a place that doesn't have it. We've talked about this before. In addition to training workers, which you're doing an awful lot of that, we can talk about that more as we go along, but you're also introducing the concept of casino gaming to an area where it doesn't exist. Sometimes there's jargon differences that people, and again, just incorporating that into a community is not always the easiest thing to do, but again, in addition to building the bricks and mortar, you got to build the culture too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, culture, very excited just to be able to bring what Caesars offers from a customer service standpoint into a new community, Southern hospitality, so to speak, and kind of blend those worlds. But really what we're doing a lot of is just trying to break, the barriers of understanding of what a casino is. And I think you referenced it earlier nicely, like it is just like another Goodyear. We are a large Fortune 500 company. We have board of directors, investors that we're responsible to. We need to run a compliant, strong organization that believes in employee engagement, which we do, believes in community service, which we do. And we offer jobs and opportunities that you see in all walks of life. We have marketing positions, human resources positions, finance positions, IT positions, security positions. So we really try to dispel that there's something mystical and different about a casino,
right?
Other than it is a cool, fun environment.
Sure.
The act of dealing cards is a little different, and we'll talk a little bit more about our dealer school and what that brings. But the majority of our positions and what our operation really intends to be is just a large business that is very similar to a lot of what people would see in other walks of life.
You mentioned the training that you have for card dealers. Most people would say, I know how to deal cards. I've played gin rummy for years. Here's how you do it. It's not how you do it in a casino. Again, these are just these little things that you have to introduce into the culture, but also in terms of very specific work skills. There's a Caesars way to do this. There's a casino way to do this. And suffice to say, it's not something you can learn in 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'm just as bad as anyone. As I think I know how to shuffle cards
everybody
and handle chips. And when I play cards at home and stuff, right, it's very different.
Sure.
So yeah, the programs we offer are very extensive, and that's really where we started a lot of our recruiting efforts here in Danville. So we are in the 4th week now of our first dealer school. So
4 weeks, folks. Again,
4 weeks.
You can't learn this in an evening, okay?
Yeah, and 4 weeks out of 11 for this group.
Wow.
So they're in there right now, and they've gotten a lot better already in those 4 weeks, and we still have over 50 dealers in there learning and training. And it's 5 days a week, 4 hours a day. We offer 4 different class options to help fit anyone's lifestyle. So if you have a current job, you have childcare issues, whatever it is, you can probably make one of these times. So it starts at 8 in the morning. We have a 12:30, a 5 p.m., and a 9 p.m. So that's Monday through Friday, 4 hours a day.
That about covers it.
Yeah, that about covers it. And like I said, it's a life skill you'll learn, right? And at the end of this, there'll be part-time and full-time opportunities for those individuals with the casino, those that graduate through the program.
Right.
And we're about to launch a 6-week program. So that's going to start this coming Monday. So you won't learn as many games as the 11-week group, but everyone starts with blackjack, right? So blackjack is the most basic game we teach. It's the most popular in the casino.
Right.
And then those in the 11-week program, they'll learn roulette. They'll learn what we call our poker derivative games like 3-card poker, Mississippi stud, 4-card poker, high card flush. And then those in that 6-week program probably don't get as many games. But again, by the time we get to hopefully open our facility in the not too distant future, we'll have a decent group of individuals to deal cards. We have 80 folks signed up for Monday. So hopefully those show up for the 6-week class, and we'll just be constantly training dealers. It's a never-ending school. So even once we open the doors, we'll start another school, whether it's a new group of dealers learning from the beginning or the existing dealers learning other games they don't have yet. So it's just constant training, constant teaching to get that life skill, and then to have a job that honestly people turn careers into. Many of my directors and managers I've hired here started out as table games dealers, whether they were part-time in college or just early on in life, and next thing you know, it's a full-time job, and next thing you know, you're a supervisor and you're working your way up through the ranks. And it's not just leadership in table games. I have heads of human resources and other parts of the operation that started out as dealer because it is the most common job we have. It's the most number of employees you need, and that's kind of how a lot of people build
It's your
their
basic
skill set.
business entry-level type job.
That's
and if you've
exactly right.
If you're given control over a few things, you'll be given control over a few more. Very biblical in that respect. But another thing looking into this is it's more than just that. I mean, you have standard positions that are open for and again, you train for security, for maintenance, which you don't need any training for that if you're already good at it. But, I mean, that's the thing that people think it's all car dealers and nothing else. You've got a whole plethora of available positions there in fields that are, easy to fill and not so easy to fill. Again, we're talking 1,300 possible workers, folks. This is not... We're not going to have 1,300 car dealers, okay? It's
sure.
You'd like to have that problem, but this is a whole plethora of opportunities for people who are just getting started in their career here in Danville, or even those who've had an established career. You've got all kinds of stuff there.
Yeah, we're building our way towards 450 right now for our temporary facility, which we can talk more about here in a second. And you're absolutely right. We're filling those positions real time. We actually had another hiring event last night at Averett. We're having another one tonight at Averett. We've been all over the community for really the last couple of months, just trying to find talent across the board. And security positions are filling up well. Surveillance positions are filling up well. Accounting positions, cage operations, slot operations. We're really focused right now on the hospitality roles, so food and beverage, servers, bartenders, cooks, cashiers.
You got to have cooks.
Yeah, so all jobs that, as we've discussed, are fairly common, right?
Yeah.
And we're looking for them to come do it inside the casino, and we'll teach them, the nuance or the particulars that we have. But if you've done those kind of things before, you should have a pretty decent, experience set to do those things.
You're watching All About Danville. I'm Chuck Vipperman. We're with Chris Albrecht today, the general manager of Caesars Virginia Casino and Resort. I put resort at the end of that purposefully. It's part of the title. Again, people focus on the casino. That's the big thing. Oh, by the way, there's going to be this humongous hotel complex with it, along with conference centers. I mean, really, if you look at the total, not just square footage, but the totality of this, I hate to say the casino, as large as it is, as interesting as it is only a part of. It's only a part of this.
Yeah, it is. It's got all those great amenities, and those are things that when you bring the Caesars brand, the name, which Danville wanted us to put on the building, we're excited to bring that here. And so you get the hotel with several hundred rooms, you get the fine dining restaurants, you get the convention space and entertainment space that's going to be able to bring meetings that usually go to other cities and other markets that are excited to now be able to bring those to Danville because there's space available and amenities to enjoy.
I know our tourism director's already getting calls about it, and we haven't even started the first brick yet.
Yeah, it's pretty wild when I get asked about something they want to do 2 years from now.
Right,
it's really hard to get my head around what that's going to look and feel like, but it's exciting that there's interest, right? That you have to actually consider, business that's looking that far into the future. We'll have a pool and a spa, like all these great amenities that are, to your point, different than just the casino itself. So there'll be a lot of ways for people who don't want to play cards or slot machines to still come and have a great time at the facility. And hopefully while they're enjoying the opportunities at Caesars, they're going to walk around and experience other parts of Danville. And that's what I've been talking a lot about in my time here and working and meeting with the local businesses and partners around town and really just kind of give them the message of be ready.
Yeah.
We're going to open the doors. We're going to bring a lot of people here that don't normally come to town.
Correct.
And we all need to be ready to show and serve them a fantastic time and experience so they want to come back. And we have to be open and available for those opportunities.
We're going to follow up later on that culture change that we have to do to take full advantage of this. But first things first, the temporary casino is what people now probably see most when they would go over there. When you look at the numbers from Bristol, there's we know why there's a temporary casino. People like that. But I would guess for you guys, it's also an excellent, I don't want to say dress rehearsal because the temporary casino is going to be something too, something worth checking out. But for you guys who are training dealers from scratch, it's got to be the perfect opportunity to sort of break them in, real world experience. Once you have the live table games going, then training can kick up a notch. I don't want to say it's a dress rehearsal, but in many ways, running a business, again, a business being built from the ground up, it's a great way to get your toes wet, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely, there's a lot more going into it than I think we all anticipated, but truly.
You had that look the last time we talked, and I was like, man, we're really biting off a lot here.
Yeah, but it is exactly that, in that we do get that opportunity to do it on a smaller scale than what the resort operation will be. It gives myself and my team, a better understanding of where the talent is to find in the area. So then we do need 2 to 2.5 times the amount of people.
Right.
Where did we find those opportunities? Where was the real fruit in the area? Outside of just Danville, but the surrounding counties and communities, both on the Virginia, North Carolina side. So as we get those learnings, that's very helpful. Yeah. And then those team members, those 450 that start, that's right. They're going to get those skills and be prepared. And that way, when you open the doors on a big, beautiful resort, you have 450 people that now have real casino experience.
Right.
And so that's valuable. And the most obvious, on top of this is that it allows us to make a few dollars on the front end and help with paying out and getting that full casino resort built.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I cover news, and this week City Manager Ken Larkin unveiled his proposed budget for the coming year, and it anticipates $12 million in casino proceeds, and he kind of suggests that might be on the low end. There's a reason this is opening, folks. People are itching for it. Now, we talked about this before. You're not just bringing a casino and resort center here. You're trying to bring a culture as well, and then that's a little harder than bricks and mortar. When you mentioned some of the terminology involved with games, there are some experienced gamers around here that know exactly what you're talking about, but the community at large doesn't. So you're introducing new terminology, but you're introducing new ideas as well. The idea that we can close a restaurant at 8 o'clock every night, we're not going to be able to do that anymore, not to the degree anyway. So there's going to be some changes that we, the people of Danville, are going to have to make in order to take full advantage of what this casino has to offer. And again, I know on your job description it doesn't say change the culture of a city.
Sure.
But it's going to have to be some adjustments for everybody if we're going to take full advantage of this incredible opportunity.
Yeah, there's a little chicken or the egg, right? There's been no reason prior to have these operations open on certain days or at certain times, but it's pretty soon there will be.
Right. Yeah.
And whether we're prepared for it or we're going to react to it as it comes, I understand it's going to, take some learning on all of our parts. But yeah, I'm going to have customers here that want to go out late at night on a midweek or even, certainly on the weekends. And we all know not a lot is open and active on Sundays. And that's going to be a day where a lot of people are going to come out to the casino on a weekend and want to look for other experiences. My own team members, they're going to get off work at all different hours a day, and they're going to want to be able to unwind and go somewhere and have a meal and just relax. So how we get there, it'll be a learning, but certainly where there are casinos and a lot of other markets, businesses around them adjust and adapt to that. But they're going to face the same challenges I have, which is hiring people. Yeah. And so as I'm trying to build out a staff, and some of those folks happen to come work at the casino, they have to backfill those positions, and then if they're going to extend their hours of operation, that's another challenge. So we're all in it together, right? Mm-hmm. We're all looking. There's no silver bullet answer to all this, but as we kind of get into it and start working together, the communication channels are wide open. Everyone's been reaching out. I've been meeting with as many folks as possible, and that those conversations, those communications will hopefully start leading to solutions. And as we see this come together, I think it's exciting. I think
it's wow.
Looking at it on the glass half full positive side, I think it's a fantastic opportunity in front of all of us to see this come together.
There's an awful lot of opportunity that's presented itself. I kind of like to tell people around here who have run businesses, service industry, it's twice a year when Martinsville has a NASCAR race, the spillover effect here in Danville means the major restaurants are going to be crowded, hotel room, forget about it. The casino is going to be kind of like having a Martinsville race weekend every weekend and many weekdays. We know what it's like. I mean, people, they can brace themselves, I guess, for the onslaught in Martinsville. We're going to have to do that every day, and boy, that's quite a demand. But this is what we wanted.
Sure,
this is the scale of
scale to get to. Yeah,
sure, and bringing a casino in to guide that. You're not blind or deaf to the other things that this casino is creating in terms of excitement. Thanks for making the housing market go haywire, by the way, in a good way.
Yes, I don't know if everyone that's moving here feels the same way, but yes, definitely making a lot of changes to the economy.
But and a lot of other things too. I mean, there's lots of other development underway. I think you said earlier when we talked that, and correctly pointed out, there was already quite a bit of momentum going forward in Danville, particularly with River District development. But now the casino has just put a supercharge into that. You see what is going on around you. I mean, I know you're more than the casino guy, but the other excitement that it's creating, sometimes in business, you don't always get a chance to be involved in something transformative. It can be big, it can be exciting, but transformative. But you're in the middle of that in Danville right now, and doing all that and seeing all that while building this beautiful facility has got to be beyond exciting.
Absolutely. It's one of the most attractive parts of coming down for an opportunity like this. I've been in part of my company for almost 18 years now, and in a few different markets. And when this conversation opportunity presented itself, it just, the more and more I looked at it, it just became more interesting, and I've only been more excited, since I've now actually been boots on the ground, for the past, 5-6 months. So it's already on a great curve. We've talked before about just the city's already been on an improvement from, where it once was to where it wants to get to. And as these new industries, come in, and I've always said I love how we continue to embrace kind of the industries of the past, the textile, tobacco, in a lot of the transformation that's going on, that nod that we have at our site to the smokestacks, the Three Sisters. We're going to embrace that in a lot of things we do. And
y'all even have bricks that are the brick pattern I saw from the Schoolfield that it emulates the old mill buildings. So y'all are going whole hog on this.
Absolutely. Yeah. We want to embrace and enjoy that history that was there. And we're talking to team members coming to work for us now who have family members that used to work for the mill, or they themselves used to be part of the mill, and they live right across the street. So it's a pretty easy commute for them to walk over to work, and just hearing those stories and that generational connection is is a part of, like we talked about, the culture, right?
Yeah.
And so when I mentioned bridging Caesars with Danville, that's what my team is. That's what we started at the leadership level. I'm not just hiring the frontline team from the community. I have a couple of directors and managers we brought on board that had no casino experience before.
Your security guy, Dean Harrison.
Dean Harrison.
I think everybody knows Dean from the police department.
That's right. And Jennifer Hawley, City of Finance, Kunal Patel, our compliance manager, also all part of the city. And then we brought in talented people from the casino world, whether it's from my company or my competitor companies. And so you're bringing all those folks together, those ideas, that diverse thinking. Yeah. And that's what generates that culture we're talking about. So my folks can teach the casino world to those individuals, and then those Danville background leaders can teach Danville to my team. And that's what then permeates throughout the organization as we bring on our supervisory staff, our frontline staff. And that's what you're going to see kind of coming together in the casinos. People from here, people moving here that make this thing run.
Whet people's appetites a little bit. Give us some timelines here. Temp Casino is not too terribly far away.
Temp is not too far away, and just to give a little taste of what you can see inside, what I affectionately refer to as our airport hangar. You've got 740 slot machines.
Wow!
So pretty decent chunk of slot machines. Yeah. You have 28 what we call electronic table games. So they are table games you play on what is essentially a slot machine. Yeah. And then we have 25 live table games, and that's what our team is training for now. So your blackjacks, your roulettes, and things like that. So it's going to be a very heavily focused gaming facility inside the temporary.
Yeah, the percentage of gaming in the Temp Casino is going to be, because of the full facility's got a lot of other
That's
stuff.
Right. The full facility is definitely more split between those worlds. Yeah. We will still have one small restaurant in there to serve the customers in there. We'll have a couple bars around the property. We will have our loyalty center, our Caesar Rewards Center, so our guests can make sure they're in the program and get all their questions answered there.
That's right. They still get rewards for this.
That's right.
Temp, yeah.
We will have 8 sports betting kiosks, so we can get some sports betting going on. And so, to our earlier conversation, it gives you that training that gets people into the Caesar Reward program so they can start earning those points and using them either at my facility here or taking them to those other locations we talked about before. And then it just gets them ready to move into the permanent facility, which is still on track for late 2024. I know everyone sees the new marker we have up with the crane next to the Three Sisters.
We noticed that crane, by the way.
You can see it from over here in Hampton's office, I think. So it's exciting to kind of see that landmark coming together and to start seeing the hotel come out of the ground.
I did have a guy send me a picture from Pennsylvania County. There's a place just north of the city, several miles north, but it's a good view. As the crow flies 10 miles away, you can see it.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's great. And just to add to some of the milestones, the first slot machine in Danville arrived this past Monday, and we have 340 slots right now inside the temporary facility. So that's to me, that's what made it start making it real. When you see slot machines coming in the door,
hardware there, you
see my team working together, putting those machines together. Yeah. Like now it's like, oh yeah, we actually are going to open a casino.
Okay.
It's real. Before, now it's just been hypothetical and conversation, but now we're here and it's happening, and it's going to be a pretty wild ride over the next few weeks.
You're watching All About Danville, presented by Wilkins and Company Realtors. I'm Chuck Vipperman, and we'll close up in a minute here with Chris Albrecht, the general manager of Caesars Virginia Casino and Resort. The numbers still are staggering to me, even after 2 years after the announcement, in terms of 1,300 jobs. Again, I'm a numbers nut, and having covered city budgets dating back to the late 1980s, if you'd have told me one single entity is going to be responsible for a $35 to $38 million line item, our total city budget in 1989 was just under $50 million. And I remember former council member Doyle Thomas lamenting the fact the following year that we were going to be spending the equivalent of $1 million a week. The scale's up a little different these days, folks. Of course, I've been doing this for a while too, but still, we talked about the fact that you're not only building something here that's never been seen before here, you are bringing something to town that's never been seen before. That means cultural changes, but you guys have been very purposeful about community outreach. Again, Caesars is Caesars. Everybody knows what Caesars is, what it's all about. It's one of the most recognizable brands on planet Earth. You didn't have to do that. You had the casino. You had the referendum, 2/3 support. Yeah, build a casino. But you guys have been very purposeful about reaching out and forming partnerships. You mentioned Averitt. You guys have been working very closely with Averitt on the training end. You've been very very intentional about getting out in the Schoolfield community and meeting with people. Suffice to say, you could have been sort of insular about this, build a casino and sit back. No, that has not been the case. You guys have been very visible in the community, and that's no accident.
No, it's very purposeful, and we are not an insular operation by any stretch. And there are honestly a variety of both business and personal reasons for that, right? So I'm bringing a team here. They're going to have their own thoughts on where they want to get involved in the community, and we encourage and try to find ways for them to get out and do so. And so there is, again, a very big personal component to that. But, just on the operations side, this facility does not succeed without coordination, working within the community,
sure,
and then kind of all of us rising together, with this. And so there's a real purpose to us making sure that we are finding great local partners for the experiences our guests are going to have here. We don't have everything to satisfy their needs, whether it's a vendor we partner with for something inside the facility or taking a customer like ours to a VIR. Yeah. Putting them up at another hotel around town, taking them to a restaurant, utilizing the local golf courses.
You want to have a nice community to bring them to.
Sure. You need all those things to make sense so that those customers have a Caesars experience wherever they go when they come to Danville, and that's important to us. So being a strong community partner is a big part of the foundation, part of our culture, part of our code of commitment to anywhere where we operate.
I'm going to get selfish here for a second. I'm not a casino guy, but I am a restaurant guy. Mm-hmm. What can you tell me about the restaurant? Just as much as you can get away with.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you read our development agreement, it says something along the lines of a fine dining establishment with a known chef around the country. And if you look at some of our properties, you probably can start to get a sense for what that might be.
One or two famous names.
Yeah, there's a couple famous names out there. And I think you will find that what we put in there will be the highest quality restaurant within a pretty good radius of this location, as I've kind of gotten myself not just out in Danville, but the surrounding areas.
Yeah.
I think what we put in there will be a draw, a reason for people to come, not just the casino itself, to eat at these restaurants, to stay in these hotel rooms. Mm-hmm. So those surrounding communities we talked about earlier, the Roanoke's, the Charlottes, the Greensboros, and the Raleigh-Durhams, this will stand up and exceed a lot of those locations' products.
Yeah.
And that's why people will drive from those places to come see what we have in Danville, and that's exciting, hopefully, for everybody to understand.
That's part of the cultural change. Right now, as we speak, there's not a reason to come to Danville and stay more than a day or two, at the max. I mean, that's just the way it is. That won't be the case very soon because the casino, in addition to all that it offers, you guys, again, being very purposeful about selling customers on the River District and things like that. And I know you've mentioned this before. When people come to town to stay at the resort, they don't stay at the resort. They get out and move and do stuff. And the resort is their hub, their base of operations. But your experience is that they get out in the community and get a flavor. I know my wife and I do. We don't stay in the hotel room when we go.
I mean, the short answer really is it's a diverse set of people. There's no one size fits all. There's so many different experiences that the casino has. You'll draw all different individuals. Yes, some will come and just want to gamble the whole time. That is the reality. But many want to get out, want to experience. The weather here is fantastic. They'll want to get out and walk places and see where else they can go around town. So yeah, not everyone walks out of the door, but a lot do. And that's what I'm trying to explain to your point that is a large part of our clientele will want to experience more than just the casino itself. And when they have choice of returning to places, those other things matter because my competitors have those slot machines we're talking about. Mm-hmm. We all have blackjack. There's no different way to skin blackjack.
There's no Caesars blackjack.
Yeah, that's right. So to choose Danville, right? You're saying I like the other things to do. I like the other experiences. I like the other part of the tourism that's attractive there.
I think I've told you before. I'm not a gambler, but I'm excited about this because number one, I mean, just the awesome community impact it's already having, and we haven't had the first brick of the casino yet, but the potential cultural change, and I think I've said this to people before in private messages and straight up. In order to take full advantage of this casino, we, the people of Danville and Pittsylvania County, are going to have to be willing to go out of our comfort zone a little bit, too. We're going to have to make some cultural changes. We're going to have to embrace the changes that will be part and parcel of any large industry coming to town. If we attracted, Toyota or whatever, that's going to be a change. casino is going to be a change. And in order to take full advantage of the casino dividend, we're going to have to make some changes in the way we do things. And I'm 55. If I'm still willing to do change, I ought to be willing to do some change. It's amazing. Now, like I said, I can't. It just seemed so theoretical when I was first contacted 3 years ago about, Chuck, what do you think about this? Wow. Yeah. But it's happening now.
It's real.
And
yeah.
it's real. And I couldn't be more excited. Thank you so much, Chris. And thank you for being more than just a business guy. You are out in the community. You are in the middle of these dealer training sessions. I've seen you in a bunch of capacities around here, being Caesars to everybody, and that's no small thing to do. I can feel your enthusiasm. I can feel the awesomeness of the task sometimes too.
Sure.
But this is oh so exciting. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Chris Albrecht, not going to be the last time we talk to him, I suspect. The Caesars Casino and Resort, Caesars Virginia Casino and Resort, open temporary casino, matter of months. The big boy, sometime next year, hopefully, supply line chains holding up out of our control. But, folks, we overuse the term game changer. This is a game changer. There's no other way to put it. This changes everything. For Hampton, for Wilkins and Company Realtors, I'm Chuck Vipperman. This is All About Danville. Have a great day, everyone.